What's up, dude?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
We're live on the BP Hero. Oh, we already got 5 people filed in to watch here.
Cool deal.
What
Uh,
what are we gonna do with ourselves?
all right, cool deal. Five now, 6 people.
Oh shit, we're filing right in here. So we'll do the usual. I'm sure you've been a member of the podcast a few different times, so you know the deal. We'll let everybody kind of get filed in here. But in the meantime, so somebody asked me a question earlier. I'm coming straight at you, like
Okay.
I'm going for your chin here. So Duke or North Carolina?
Oh my God, North Carolina.
He said, "Oh my God." I don't know. I like
Uh,
we've been friends for a minute now, and I can't believe I've never asked that question. My mom asked tonight, and I was like,
yeah,
that's a good question. I'm not really sure.
yeah. Now my the half of my family is Duke fans, and
Oh,
yeah, oh yeah, dude. So it's a family business, and my brother and my sister work with me along with my dad. My dad passed away years ago, but so my brother and sister were coming to work together, and Carolina and Duke played in basketball. You know, football really don't matter because Duke is terrible.
you're right.
I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, I mean, and that's why O.J. Simpson hid in Durham at Duke University because he knew nobody would find a Heisman Trophy winner there. But but no, they came in one work, man, and I put up posters everywhere, all across the work, in the front door, everything, just so I just kind of, man, yeah, I've been to quite a few Carolina games. It's fun, man. But
that's funny
I
though.
was, I was, yeah. We played in the Unicorn Sports Draft, and some of the guys that were on my draft team, they were out of Montana, and they were like one of the first places they went was Chapel Hill to just go kind of check it out and stuff. It was
Sure.
pretty cool.
So I guess that's probably something you've been to a handful of times then.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, a Duke Carolina game, yeah, you can't get tickets to that game.
Really?
Uh, oh yeah, it's impossible. I mean,
So
it's a couple of grand per ticket, especially if you go to Cameron. Cameron's like a high school gym, and that's why it looks so crazy when you're on there,
yeah.
man. But I mean, the Dean Dome's pretty big, whereas if Cameron brought all their guys, they still wouldn't fill up the Dean Dome. But that's why it's a great atmosphere. But yeah, don't get me wrong. I watch Duke. I've always admired Duke. I admire their coach, but
Yeah,
I don't
see,
know.
it was very interesting to me that, kind of talking about that. So, like, when I lived in Alabama for a hot minute, it's like, so I'm just going to paint this picture for you. So, we're in this engine, this locomotive engine going down the tracks, right? This is like my very first trip down there, and I'm still training, so I'm with 2 guys that are from there, and
Uh huh.
the cab of this locomotive is probably about the size of like a I mean, I don't even know. I'm trying to think of something good to describe it. Maybe like a 15 by 15 area. It's not very big, and you got
Uh huh.
three full grown dudes in here, right?
Oh
And
wow.
I've got a guy sitting like directly behind me in a chair, and then I've got another guy. All I can see is the top of his head, from like the control stand for the engine. And like I look over, we're like 2 miles down the road, and like I look over and I see his eye. All I see is like his eyes and the top of his head just looking at me. And I'm like, what the fuck? I turn around behind me, and like, dude behind me is just like kind of sizing me up. I was just kind of like, you guys all right? He just goes, we got to know. I'm like,
Oh
God,
no.
like you're right. Like, no, like,
Yeah.
what do they have to know? And I was like, all right. He goes, well, what are you? It's like, I don't know. Like, like, am I about to get hazed here? What's going on? I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
man, I don't know. He goes, well, Alabama or Auburn. I was like, oh my God. I mean, it's
It's
like,
die hard there, man.
dude. It's like I had to pick. It's like, well, just pick one. It's like, man, I don't know. I don't watch either one. It's like, well, it's fine. Just pick one. It's like, man, I don't know. Is it that way there with Duke in North Carolina?
Man, we have so many people that have moved in here. It's kind of like they don't care, but The original people that are from here, yeah, it's pretty strong. But like Alabama, Auburn, man, is a whole nother level.
Dude, it's
it really
wild.
is. Yeah, it's a whole nother level. And I wish football was that big here, but it's mostly basketball, college basketball here. At least it has been. But
I mean, hey, you guys put out Daniel Jones from the area. I mean, you're doing okay. I mean,
yeah, of course, Duke there. I mean, my brother's a diehard Duke, and man, we're always at each other, dude. And I mean, and it's like I always give him crap about Coach K dyeing his hair. I'm like, he's 75 and his hair is pitch black.
Yeah. There's absolutely no chance that's a real thing, especially with like as much stress as that guy's been through. No way his hair is jet black.
No, absolutely not. I mean, what his son got caught for like some kind of DUI this year or something. And, no, his grandson. I'm sorry, his grandson's like on the team or something, and he got busted for that with another player. But yeah, he's been through quite a bit. But yeah, I tell you, so NC State's here, so it's like everybody hates Carolina. Like it's not like hey everybody hates State. It's just like State hates Carolina. Duke hates Carolina. That's just the way it is here, man. It's like I don't know. Even the ECU and stuff is the same way.
Yeah, sure. But, see, so we got chat popping off here already. So so Q wants to know, since Q doing Q things, that's my buddy Quentin. He wants to know, did you get to go watch Tyler Hansborough play?
I did. And I'll tell you, I didn't go to the Cameron to watch him play. But he was undefeated in Cameron, by the way. And I remember
really?
Oh, yeah. He never lost there. And I remember him going out, holding up 4 fingers, saying all 4 years he went undefeated there.
Damn. I guess I didn't realize that.
Yeah. He was one of the hardest working dudes you've ever seen, man. And we used to sneak in at me and a buddy, we used to play basketball back when Adam was a little guy. And we would go to NC State and sneak on campus.
Oh.
And, yeah, and we would get to go in where all the kids play. They had like I can't remember how many levels of basketball levels of floors they had, but they had all these gym floors. And we would sneak in there, man, and you would see so many ex-Carolina and Duke players there playing pickup.
Yeah.
And we'd get to go play with them and play pickup ball with them and stuff. It was cool.
Did you ever get dunked on?
Never let them.
He said never let him.
Yeah.
Coming for those knees, son. Oh, man, that's too funny.
I was like, because what was the guy's name? He was a forward. Oh, man, he played for the Houston Rockets. But dude was like, man, he was like 6'8", and he never stepped foot close to the paint. That dude just shot jumpers all day, and he did not miss. I can't remember but he played on the Houston Rockets team that won the NBA title a couple times with Akeem and all them.
Okay, so I got a couple of I got a couple of basketball guys in here. Somebody might know who he is. So let's see. Foothill Field Sports asks Adam who the best BP pitcher is he has ever had and had the privilege to hit off of in Roseville.
Holy cow! I wonder who that is. Man, that's in Roseville. Roseville in our area was a league, man, that was like well known. People would travel, I mean, almost an hour away to play in this league, if not more than that, actually. And it was a very, very competitive league. Man, I don't. If it was in league, Adam Keefe was probably one of the best I've ever played against, and he was. But as best BP pitcher,
who's the best BP pitcher he has ever had the privilege to hit off of in Roseville? He says it's Cupcake.
It is. Okay, Cupcake, Brian Keever. Yeah, he's the one that first started out when we started trying to do the channel years ago, and it didn't work out. But yeah, that's Cupcake. Okay,
all right. Does he make any appearances on the channel now?
Nah, he moved out there close to Jamie Baker now, so he's moving out that way.
Okay, man, Jamie Baker, man, that's one guy. I haven't seen or heard anything out of him. I checked in on him a little while back. For those that are in the podcast here that did keep up with Jamie's content, he said he's just been busy with life, had another kid, doing the football thing, and I get that. You know, you kind of got to manage your priorities there somewhere.
Well, they did, because of COVID, the kids had to play football different last year.
Sure.
So instead of playing in the fall, they ended up playing in the winter. They started like end of January, February, and they played their season there. And then you basically had to turn around and play again, which because you had the summer workouts and stuff. So
Sure, yeah.
Jamie's diehard in that, man. And then he, of course, had the other kid. So, family first.
So they legitimately started. So I guess like your wintertime, like I think wintertime and I think like snow and everything else happening. But I guess it's probably a little bit different than wintertime here, like as opposed to there. It's probably just cold, right?
Yeah, we don't get the snow you guys get. I think it was probably 2 or 3 years ago. We got some snow in December one time, and my son went to Wake Forest High School, and which was a pretty big school in the area. They were really good in football. You got a couple of guys playing NFL now. They went to school with my son, and so we would travel, and we went to University of Wake Forest for the state championship and watch them play.
Nice.
And yeah, and there was a kid on Georgia this year that won what is the defensive lineman? It's not the Buckus, something like the Lombardi Award or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so we were going I was coming in the stadium, and it had one of those stadiums where you kind of come in from the top and you go down, like it's like you're stepping into a hole almost.
Yeah, what do they call it? Coliseum? No, not Coliseum.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
You kind of come through the middle, and you're like looking down on the field, and
yeah.
And I was like, okay. And they had this kid on the other team that my son's school was getting ready to play, and I was just like, oh my God, that's the biggest dude I've ever seen in my life, and he could fly. I mean, flat out fly. And he's the guy that won the Lombardi this year for Georgia.
Really?
And I can't remember his name, man. I think he's number like 99 or something for Georgia this year.
Huh, I'll have to check that out.
I never seen a guy that big run like he did, man. And I mean, he was just enormous. I was like, wow.
So yeah, it's crazy because I was just talking with Brian about that the other day at lunch, like how today's athlete is so much different than athletes of years past. And that even translates, obviously you've got like your mainstream sports like football and basketball and all that stuff where like guys are way just freak athletes. Like take like somebody like LeBron or any of these like Myles Garrett or any of these guys and put them into the sport 15 years ago, and man, they just imagine they'd be like a man amongst children.
And it's crazy because so my son's school is like the area just grew up like crazy, man. So they have like well over 2,000 students at their school.
Oh wow!
And yeah, it's a big school. It's like it's like a 4 AA. They don't have 5A in North Carolina, but they do have 4 AA. And I was going down there, man, and like his school, his football team, it was like college football. I mean, because like it was like 18 kids on the starters were going to play college ball somewhere. I mean, they were enormous, dude. Their offensive line, like certain colleges would like to say, "Hey, man, I'd like to," we would like these guys. These guys were true tosses, man. You didn't have like some little 5'8" overachiever on that team because they didn't play. I mean, they were just every dude out there was enormous, man.
Yeah, see, that's Matthew Clark says Jordan Davis is who you're thinking of.
Yeah, that's exactly who that is.
Yeah.
He played at Mallard Creek. That's exactly who he is.
Yeah, it's the Outland Trophy is what they call it. Eric says.
Oh, okay.
Thank God we got the chat here, right?
I ain't lying, man.
So it's funny you talk about we're 15 minutes into a podcast already and haven't even talked about softball yet, and I don't give a damn. So
yeah, that's the point of playing softball. Don't get me wrong, everybody likes to play softball. But you get to hang out with your buddies and just kind of shoot the shit, talk shit to each other, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about, man.
Exactly. And that's kind of what I enjoy about having a podcast, like having different people on. Like Snacks and I will argue about, whatever comes to mind. But, it's funny you talk about the football thing and like the high schools and stuff. So when I was in Birmingham, like if you're familiar with the area down there at all, anybody listening or anything. So you got Birmingham and then you've got all these little surrounding areas, and then Hoover. We were less than a 5-minute drive from Hoover High, and it was all, when Hoover was all the rave and high school football and stuff. And we went and watched them play. Dude, their freaking kicker was bigger than the biggest player on the other team.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Around here, dude, they recruit. They're recruiting high schools. I've never even heard of stuff like that, man. The western part of our state was really bad about it. and then it's just kind of moved in here because, I mean, I think the last season that Wake Forest won the state championship, they won 3 in a row. And the last year they had this kid like just show up on campus or showed up and started playing with them. And then he enrolled in school 2 weeks before school started. And he was enormous. He looked like a tight end. And they put him out there at tight end. And I was like, who's that guy? I mean, he went on the roster last year. And, I mean, he's a senior, and he could flat out fly. And I don't remember his name, but he'd already had a scholarship to the University of South Carolina for the Gamecocks. And dude, I was just like, because it was funny. I would hear buddies of mine and fans out there at the games talking about, oh, they recruit. I'm like, yeah, so do y'all, dude. I'm just like,
right.
I mean, you're recruiting too. I mean, because parents are going in and renting apartments so they can use those addresses. And stuff like that.
Dude. So that's very much a thing here, and I didn't realize when it comes to like private schools and like Catholic schools and things like that, at least in Missouri, you can like recruit and give scholarships and things of that fashion. Like, and that's a high school thing, like to be able to do something like that.
Yeah,
it's just like, man, that's crazy.
They do private schools. That had been going on for a long time here. Well, we didn't have that many private schools, but this year, the last 2 years, they let this one big private school play against regular schools. I don't know how they did because that school won the state championship this year. It was their first time. And I'm like, they recruit everybody.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just like, how's that right, man?
That's absolute madness.
But, you know, we played like one private school when I was playing. And, you know, basically the private schools, if they went to a state championship, they played other private schools. That was the way it was when I was in high school. Now that's not the case. So.
Yeah, see, in being like, I'm in a very rural area where I'm at. And so I'm playing like a lot of like class 1, class 2 stuff. And a lot of your class 1 or class 2 schools usually come from areas that have like surrounding big cities. And whether it's people wanting to get to the small school that's got the good sports program, or people just looking to get out of the city and get to the smaller areas, you always end up with, you know, it always seems like you always end up with the really, really good teams coming from those areas because it's like, oh, well, they've got a good football team, so we're going to move there to give little Billy a chance to be an NFL star.
Exactly. Oh yeah, you're exactly right.
Yeah, and it's really bad at like the class 1 and class 2 level. And you know, I'm sure it kind of as you go, you get into the bigger cities, then you got people moving into the cities to get into the programs. But it's just crazy how all that stuff works.
Oh yeah, you're exactly right. I know because there's a school out in the West that George Davis kid played at, which is called Mallard Creek, and man, they were just like Division I college football athletes going out the door left and right, going to school to play somewhere, man.
Yeah. No thanks. I'm good on that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, those kids were enormous, dude. And, so I played high school football, and there's no way I had a chance to get something like that.
No, I went to a school so small we didn't even have football. My senior year was the first year we had track. So I don't want to hear nothing about people complaining about playing football and this and that. We had basketball and we had baseball. That's all we had.
We had football, but we didn't have soccer, and we didn't have a track, but we had a dirt path.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember I didn't run track because I was like, I'm not running track. And my football coach tried to make me run track, but I was like, I'm not running track. I'll play baseball. And I only played baseball, so I didn't want to run. And our track coach was our football coach. And he said, you have to play a spring sport.
Oh.
So I'll play, yeah. So I said, I'm going to play football. He said, well, I'm going to put you on the fat man relay team. And I wasn't fat in school, but he was just like, because I was slow.
Yeah.
And I said, no, coach, I'm going to play baseball. He said, all right. And but they had a dirt path, and we could never hold a meet. And they ended up winning the conference and finished really high in the state. And every time they'd get done, man, they would yell, dirt path, dirt path.
Of course they would. That's funny, though. So, Q did mention earlier, we were talking about the basketball thing. I think I went and played with the Rockets. Who is Shane Battier? Is that who you're thinking of?
No, Chucky Brown, I think is who I'm thinking
Chucky
of.
Brown,
Chucky
okay.
Brown.
Okay.
He is much older guy. No,
okay.
But I know who you're talking about. Shane Battier with the old wrinkled head.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, absolutely crazy looking head on that dude.
Yeah.
So we got Josh Stubbs here. Chester in the chat here. He says, I want to hear you two argue over the top 5 U-Trip bats of the year. Whoever rates the Indium one higher is my favorite YouTube softball equipment reviewer. So I don't know if you know Josh personally, but man, he's a dang nut. He cracks me up. He's been a really good guy. Takes really good care of me. I'm not going to get into the top 5 U-Trip bats and all that stuff. I have said that a couple times on the channel. Unless you want to, we can. It don't matter to me. But I'm planning on doing a video. I'm planning on doing a video on all that stuff here soon. But
yeah, I saw your top. I think it was 5 or something like that. You ripped it, and I saw it. I think I saw the Bat Hound did his ASA stuff the other day. But yeah, I mean, I know kind of like what I like. I like the Indium one, but I'll tell you what, I like that 2-piece better.
Really?
The MDM. I like the NDM3 a little better. I thought we hit it that last review we did, man. Everybody liked that bat. Even the girl that hits with us, Savannah, she liked it. Mm-hmm. She loved it.
See, I've tried the Indium 1 and the Indium 2, and I actually... Hi, sweetie. What are you doing? Timeout. Okay. Huh? Yeah, hi. Thank you. All right. I just needed a hug, I guess. So anyway, so I tried the Indium 1 and the Indium 2, and I think just being like true to my heart, like true to my roots, a true like one-piece guy, I did prefer the Indium 1, but you can't go wrong with either one. I will say that. I was really interested. So there's supposed to be something coming out that's going to be that same variation of technology with an alloy handle, and I'm trying to see what that's like.
Yeah, Josh had told me that too. I think I've talked to Josh some, and yeah, I'm very interested in that. The 2-piece to me wasn't too flexy, but man, I don't know, man, I really liked it. It reminded me a little bit of the Josh branch, but it broke in a little faster. But,
yeah.
But everybody liked it, man. I mean, so when I would pick up the bat and you just kind of feel that rough, gritty finish to it. I was like, man, you just kind of had this, you put this thought in your head. You was like, man, this is going to have a stiff barrel. And no, it just had a really nice soft barrel.
Yeah, yeah. The barrel does feel really good on those. And so we were pretty adventurous, not to like spoil my review. I haven't posted my video of the Indium 2 yet. It is actually going to be my last review of 2021. Will be that one. It'll be up in just a couple of days. But, you know, these are advertised as game-ready bats. I got so excited to go hit it. I didn't get a chance to throw it on the tester beforehand. I was completely forgot. But we put that thing through its paces on a relatively cool day and hit a lot of hard stuff with it. And it's like testing it like right at around 240. Like it's just give or take depending on the side you put it on, between 240 and 245. And like to be able to hit a bunch of hard stuff on a cool day with a game-ready bat and it's still passing compression, how do you lose, really? I mean, that's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. We did the same thing. It was a cooler day. I had that guy. I don't know if you watched the guy, Josh Meyer. He hits with us, and dude, he absolutely murders the ball.
Yeah, he hits it well.
And then there's Chad. Chad hits it pretty hard too, and they killed the ball with that thing, man. And I've let some other people hit it, and everybody. I mean, I've not gotten any negative feedback on it or anything. Everybody loved it, but I can't. Ours tested higher. But I almost wanted to check my tester, but I kept calibrating, and it still was in the 260 range, if I remember right.
Really?
Yeah, it was still in the But
of course, y'all got that warm weather shit around there. We don't know anything about that. You got
dude.
Hey, I don't know. I don't want to hear you. It's 60 degrees, and you guys are putting on hoodies and sweatpants. Okay, I mean that's streaking weather for us.
Today was like 78 degrees, dude.
Oh yeah, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I know. I was like, what in the heck, dude? I mean, I'm serious. I had to turn the AC on in the office today.
I'm pretty sure you said that just to rub that in. You could have just opened the window.
Yeah, but I mean, I'd have to put it back down. You know?
Okay. All right, yeah. I'd hate for you to sweat to get up and go do that in the middle of December. Okay. Yeah. So it's actually funny we mentioned that. It's actually, I think we're probably going to end up getting our first bit of snow here tonight. Like the bridges are finally iced over. There's ice on the basketball goal outside, and I'm going to be really grumpy tomorrow if I got to go out and scrape my car off.
Oh, man.
Absolutely horrible. But it's neither here nor there. I did post on Facebook, just kind of like wanted you guys to, you haven't let me down the last couple of podcasts with firing away with questions and answers and things like that for the podcast. So I told you guys to drop some topics below. And I'm just going to go fire from the top here. We've got a handful of stuff here. And if I know us at all, we're going to find a million other things to talk about anyway. But Ned Lewis wants to know, how much are the league fees where you're at, and how many teams usually sign up?
Oh, man. Let's see. I try to stay out of that as much as possible because that means I have to run the team. But, I'm trying to think what it was, man. It depends on the league. I think Roseville was kind of steep. It was like $650.
Oh, how many games is that?
I don't remember. It wasn't that many because that's what it was like. Because Roseville used to be a powerhouse for softball league, man, where you had an A, B, and C league, and what they would do is you had a preseason tournament, and then you would have and it was a double elimination tournament, and it would seed you which league you're going to play in. Then you would have a regular season tournament, and you played everybody twice. The A league didn't have as many. Maybe had like 6 teams. But when I say A, you had pretty much like your top E teams and like really strong DC players playing in that league.
Sure.
And then you had your C league, which was your normal rec guys, some of your company teams and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But that was and then you would have a double elimination tournament at the end of the year. That's the way it used to be. And then they just kind of, the guy who ran the league passed away, and it just kind of went downhill after that.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
So that's really cool, though. I like the idea. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, the one in Wake Forest is maybe 600 or 500 or 600, something like that. And that's ASA. So.
See, I don't hate the idea behind having like a preseason tournament to kind of seed everybody as far as like what league you would go in. Now, is that all on the same night, or does it spread out over certain nights?
No, you had to spread it out because there were so many teams. You would play 4 games. There was 2 fields. You would play 4 games a night, and you would basically play. It was 4 nights a week of playing ball.
Oh, damn!
Because there was so many teams in the B and C league that that's the way it was. It eventually kind of dwindled down, but yeah, I mean, it was a really strong league at one time. But,
see, that would be really cool, but it sounds like at least a good turnout as well, even though it is costing a little bit of money. Is that double headers? I guess, yeah, you said 2 games a night.
Yeah. Well, we didn't know. It was just, we only played 1 game. It was just that many teams.
Oh, okay. I'm following you now.
Yeah. Jamie had one. Jamie was telling me this, and he might could correct me on this, but so Jamie was telling me about the league. They had like a draft league. So they'd come out there, and you would have like, you would already pick your captains, and you would draft the players in the leagues because they said they were kind of, I guess they were trying to get tired of people stacking up teams.
Sure.
And you would draft teams, and Jamie basically said, I picked nothing but offense. And he said, we couldn't play any defense. And he said they would just beat everybody up. But he said what they would do is how the regular season, they would play half the season, stop in the half, have a home run derby and an all-star game, and then finish the rest of the season and then have like a double elimination tournament. I was like, that was really be cool to play in.
Yeah, that's awesome. Something like that would be like making an actual production. So there's a league here. It's called the Ozark League because we got, like we're in the Ozark area, whatever. And basically, if you want to be a part of the league, then you go to the league meeting or whatever at the beginning of the year and say, hey, I want to be part of the Ozark League. And you have to have your own home field. You have to prepare your own field. You have to supply your own umpire. But it's just like instead of like going to the same complex and playing different teams, like if I had to play Jimmy's team this week, I go to wherever Jimmy's from and I play him because he's the home field. And then the next week Jimmy might go play over in Allenstown. Just random stuff.
Yeah.
It keeps you traveling to a certain extent. Obviously, they're not going to let teams in from BFE, but I thought that was really unique that like each team has their own home field kind of thing. Just kind of adds a different aspect to the slow pitch side of things where you're used to going to the same park and doing the same thing.
Yeah. They have one like that out here, but it's only 3 fields that they'll kind of rotate at.
Yeah.
Here in Franklin County, but I never got a chance to play in it. I filled in a couple times, but that's about it for me. But I don't know. I mean, I played in so many leagues, man, different leagues. I played in one this year where I drove about an hour away to play in, which I I can't believe I'm that old doing that crap. But
Hey, you enjoyed it though, or you wouldn't have kept going. Just say that right
yeah,
now.
you're right. Oh, you're absolutely right. And stuff. I toward the middle of the season, I was like, hey, look, man, y'all got enough guys. Just call me when you need me. And then I ended up getting called more than I thought. So
Yeah.
I played more in the league. So it is what it is and stuff, But it was
Sure.
fun. I mean, it was cool and stuff. I mean, but man, everything kind of around here's turned ASA for league ball, and you don't get to play U-Trip that much.
Really,
League
why
ball,
is that?
at least. They said whoever the USSSA director was at the time was charging too much money for umpires.
Oh, that I do believe.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I'd heard. But I mean, like I said, I don't know, because I mean, ASA doesn't bother me. I like playing ASA because it kind of, to me, it restricts guys from using cut bats.
Sure.
And I mean, dudes will cheat. They're going to cheat no matter what. I mean, I know guys can take the restrictor out of a bat, but to me, it doesn't mean as much playing ASA ball with that dumbed down ball. But I do like that. But man, I hate ASA umpires. Oh my God, I hate them. We had umpires checking our bats this year for like. He was, they used to use back in the 90s or something. They used to check your bat for they put a ring test to see if your bat was completely round.
Yeah.
Because you were using aluminum bats. I'm like, dude.
What's up, Donnie? How you doing, buddy?
I said, you're like 30 years too late. I mean, I was like, what are you doing? I said, these are all composite bats, man. These don't get bent out of shape. I said, but they just, I don't know. They're really ticky tack with their rules. And
Stuck
stuff.
In their ways.
Oh yeah, but they're like nitpicky, man. Like if you're wearing a piece of jewelry, they'll give you crap about that, but they'll miss, an easy call or something. I'm like, man, maybe if you quit worrying about the crap and just call the game, we'd be all right.
Yeah, for real. Like that's the thing that gets me is like, you get umpires that get hung up on so many different things and kind of lose spectrum of like the fact you're just there to call safe and out. And
yeah.
See, to me though, it's usually the ones like personally no players, whether it be for one team or the other, and not so much being favorable towards one team or the other, but you're way too worried about chumming it up or laughing and giggling and carrying on, or worrying about what your buddy's wife is doing over in the stands, or hey, what are the kids doing? And like, I get that like you're gonna have stuff going on off the field, but you're the umpire. It's kind of your job to supervise the field while you're there.
I know. Umpires are they're a trip, man.
Yeah.
I would never want to do it. I mean, the first time I had to umpire a baseball game, I thought I was safe when I got there. It was a last second thing, and this dude asked me to do it, and I said, dude, I don't know anything about umpiring. He said, you can call somebody out, right? I said, yep. I said, I can do that.
Oh yeah, got that under control, dog.
Yeah, so he put me in the field, and I go out there, dude, and both teams are these, it's kids baseball, and their dads are all guys I used to play ball against, and I was like, oh, this ain't gonna go good, and it weren't guys that played with me, it was guys that played against me, so I was like, I knew this wouldn't go well, and it didn't, and I mean, there was a lot of mouth and stuff, and I was like, man, I'll never umpire. They're just not. They don't get enough money, and I mean, most of them suck, but I don't know, man. I'm just not going to argue with a grown ass man about softball. So
no, and that's kind of the thing too. Like Donnie Nichols says it here in the chat, like rainbow umpires. So where we play is a rainbow softball complex, and dude, it's just like the umpires out there. Like you got some good umpires that have been around the game. Some of them have played for a long time to transition into umpire, and you got some guys that still play and just want to umpire for the extra money. But then we've had it happen a couple of times where. We'll have an umpire come out. We had one time. He says, yeah, I'm just doing this for a summer job. He's like, I played baseball when I was a kid. And like, he had no clue anything about a strike zone and this is before we had mats. So like, we're kind of like explaining to him what the strike zone looks like. And, hey man, the pitch has got to get this high before you can he passed whatever written test they had, but like, you read a book, you take a test and then you go learn. You read a book, you take a test, and then you get out there, and then you learn how to do it. Because it's just like anything. It's just like any kind of job. You can pass all the written stuff you want, but until you do it, you don't know.
You're exactly right. I mean, right now, man, it seems like where we play, if they're older guys, they're usually pretty good because they've been doing it for a while. But, man, it just seems like they're putting warm bodies out there now. we had guys that didn't even know the rules of the game of baseball, and we were just like, "What are you doing, man?" I mean, it was just like we had one guy out there, man, and he was one of the head directors of USSSA directors, and he was like, he sent his son-in-law out there, and this dude, man, had not a clue what he was doing, and we were just like, and he wanted to be your buddy, and
Yeah.
I was like, man, I said, well, this maybe a bad comparison, but I said, umpires are kind of like cops, man. I mean, you want to be a cop, don't look for people to be your friend, dude. I said, because they're not.
Yeah, you can be friends with your other cop buddies.
Yeah, that's the way it works, dude.
It's funny though. It's funny that you use that comparison. I mean, it kind of is true. Like, you can't, like, and I'm all for like umpires, like, having fun with the teams and that kind of thing. But like, you can't personally go chumming it up with people that you're umpiring. You just it's not, even if you're not being favorable as the umpire, it's just not, it personally, to me, it's not a good look. And like I am honestly, I am guilty of, kind of chumming it up with umpires at times as well. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm not, because if you've seen me in a ball field, I'll talk to my own shadow. So it's natural for me to laugh and joke with whoever. But in general though, it makes it a tough situation, because again, like if your team gets a call, or that you feel like might have been a close call, or vice versa, then it's like, oh, well, you're buddies with them, and that's why, like, I've seen that shit happen so much. It's just crazy.
Oh yeah. Well, you said something. Do y'all play mat ball?
So when COVID became a thing, they went to mat ball, basically, so the umpire and the catcher and the batter could all be 6 feet apart. And,
okay.
Dude, it's fucking brutal. Pardon my French, but it is just based on the aspect of, like, the mat is super long. It goes back past the back of the batter's boxes. So
yeah, I've seen them. It's not like the senior mat.
No, and it's 6'10". So a 10-foot pitch, a 10-foot pitch can hit off the very back of the mat. Dude, I'm not kidding you. Like it can cross you like over your head and hit the back of the mat. Like, how are you supposed to hit that?
I don't know, man. I this year was I went to a senior tournament that was they held in Raleigh this year, and I've never been to them, and they were playing mat ball. And,
yeah.
I was really shocked at the height of the pitches, and man, you talking about some mouthy dudes. I was like, holy cow! But yeah, it was some mouthy. But I noticed how the height was like unreal, man. It was just, I mean, it seemed like it was horseshoes out there. I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just, the height was there, dude. That was for sure. It was a big noticeable thing when I went out there. And them bats are stupid.
Dude, the bats are insane. Have you reviewed a handful of senior bats on your channel, right?
Yeah, and I've been hitting some more here lately. I've got a lot more coming.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got the guy Chad. Chad hits with me. Chad Malat, he hits in the videos. He's the shorter guy, and when he's in town, we'll do a lot of the senior stuff together.
So, not to tell on yourself age wise, but are you playing any senior ball, or are you just doing regular league ball?
Just league.
Yeah.
I'm interested in trying to get into senior ball. I'm not where I want to be yet. I think I got another year before I turn 50.
Okay.
So,
okay.
So I don't know the rules. I'm gonna try to play. Somebody asked me last year about playing this year, so we'll see. But yeah, I'm very interested. And they got another league that's a senior league that I might play. But man, this is what I understand. They use ASA bats, but they'll use like a 44 375 ball. But they're not using anarchies. They're using like monster bats and stuff like that. And I'm just like, okay. I was like, they're like, they talk crap about the bats. I was like, well, man, you need to switch up your bats there, bud. But,
yeah, for real.
But but I tell you, man, between senior ball and some church ball, man, there's some of the nastiest people. Holy cow!
Dude, church ball can get wild too. Like you always get like for whatever reason, church ball can bring out like the super competitive people, and like I don't understand that. Like,
I played in a church league, and you had to play like at a certain time. They only played one game a week, and they would play at different locations. And dude, this was like as wreck as it comes. You had some guys wearing blue jeans, okay, and I was out there playing. I I was on the on deck batter, and my guy, my dude hits the ball, whatever, and and this guy that was on my team, he was different. I'll just say that. That's the nicest thing I probably say about.
Hey, you know what, Adam? He probably thinks you're different too. Okay.
Oh, I know. He was I'll put it this way. I would pull up to the field because I would come straight from work, and I would get there, and it just kind of, I might offend some people or whatever, but the dude was practicing running the bases when I would get there, and I was like, "What are you doing, dude?" Most people throw the bat off a ball and hit it.
Okay, so that's different.
Yeah, that was. And so he was scoring from third. They burn a guy, play at home, and this older man was probably in his late 60s, maybe mid 60s, steps out from home plate to catch the ball, plays at the plate. He barrels him, knocks him down.
Oh no!
I thought he killed the guy. I'm not gonna lie, I really thought he killed the guy. And the shortstop on the team comes running over. His dad is his dad. He's laying on the ground screaming and moaning and hollering. He doesn't check on his dad. He steps. I'm not.
Oh no!
He steps over his dad and starts bumping chests with the other guy. I'm like, dude, check on your dad.
Dude, yeah, you stepped over the top of him.
Literally stepped over his dad. And then the guy at first base was playing defense. First baseman. He runs in. And I thought he was going to check on his dad. And I was like, I kept asking him, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And the first baseman comes over. He says, "Hey, you know that run doesn't count, right?" I said, "Oh, my God. Check on your player, dude."
So, that's wild.
Yeah,
but
it was funny, man. I was just like, wow.
I can't say. I've told this story a couple of different times on the podcast. I will say I'm telling on myself here, being hung up in that moment. So we're playing co-ed one time, and the fields were absolutely terrible. We're playing this co-ed tournament, and it was bad enough. I'm gonna tell you how podunk this thing was. They brought out the tractor and a nail drag, the Ford tractor and the nail drag, to bust up the field and kind of get everything turned over. Well, the field looked like crap. It really did. And my wife was out here playing first base, and this dude had been hitting at the girls all day long. And we'd already played him once, and he was hit at the girls. So finally, this one time, I throw a pitch, and I'm like, "All right, motherfucker, if you're going to do that, sorry, man, my mouth is bad tonight." So,
oh, you're good, dude.
I throw this pitch, and I slide over. Basically, I told my second baseman, I said, "Just scoot over." So I throw the pitch, and I slide over to where he would have hit, trying to hit at our second baseman. And he saw me do it. He didn't swing at the pitch. And he swings at the next one, and hits it down the first baseline, hits like a glob of mud, and smokes my wife in the head. Bang!
Oh, nice.
Just out, like lights off, sack of taters on the ground, and I run and I pick the ball up, and the first thing that went through my mind was just hit him in the back of the head with it.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
Because he runs to first base, the ball goes wherever off of her head, and he runs to first base. And he didn't even stop. He rounds first base, had to jump over her, looks down at her as he jumps over her, and keeps running to second base. So I pick up the ball thinking, I'm just going to roast this off the back of your head. I pick it up. I throw it as hard as I can at the dude. And my shortstop did everything he could to make it not look like I attempted to murder this man with a softball. And I immediately go in on him, yelling and carrying on, and my buddy Jacob's in the outfield. Jacob's 6'5", fucking 280. I mean, he's a monster of a human. He's coming in, yelling and screaming and carrying on, and I'm yelling and screaming, and this guy who's maybe 5'5", 140 pounds, runs and hides behind his wife.
Oh my gosh.
And I turn around and my wife's still out on the ground. I'm like, ah, damn. But so
I'm sure you catch hell for that shit.
Oh yeah. And but it was just in the moment. It made me mad. But I can relate to where he's coming from. But hindsight's always 20/20 there too. The biggest thing that got me with that is he stepped over the top of her and kept running because she was out cold.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, so
women don't forget stuff, dude, ever. It's like they got a Rolodex back there.
Yeah.
Remember that fucker?
Yeah, that's how it always goes. Now I'm just always like, I'll just write it down next time. You know what? That's fine. But I still never can remember.
Oh, they'll remember. I promise you. Don't you dare bring up anything they did.
Right. So, let's see. So tell us a little bit about these Suncoast bats. You haven't reviewed one or two of the Suncoast U-Trip bats?
I did the Ruckus Max.
Okay.
I did that for the 240. Now, I fooled around. I had the Ruckus 12 from last year, and I think I hit the balanced one. I did a review on it, and I didn't like it because the weighting was so bad in it. But man, the 221 is just, to me, is just absolute gas. But I compared that to the 240 just to kind of say the 240s can hang right there with it.
Uh-huh.
And of course, my exit speeds are not there, but it would hang with it. But man, I'll tell you right now, guys are asking for my top 5 or whatever, top 10. Right now, that Suncoast is my number 1.
Really?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I love that bat. The Freak 9R, in love with that bat.
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to remember what else.
Have you done any Louisvilles?
I have, but here's the thing with the Louisvilles. They're hot bats. We've done 3 different ones. We busted all 3.
Really?
Yeah, the Genesis, the Sanchez is the only one that lasted long, but it got a seam instant, like 40 swings into it. It got a seam, and the seam got a little bit longer. It got about 6 to 8 inches long. And I was just like, man, I got 40 swings on the bat, and it's already got a seam. I was like, that kind of was disheartening.
Sure.
We did the blue Jenny, blew up. Did the red one, which is the Andy Purcell one.
Yeah.
Cracked it like 70 swings, and I was just like, what?
Do you think maybe you guys are just too strong?
No.
Oh.
Because you got needed. It's me hitting out there. That's the problem. But,
it's interesting you see you running into durability issues with those, because I guess technically the Lady Jenny, I had one of those sitting around as a 27.5. We had a tournament coming up. I talked about it last week on the podcast. Playing on basically 200-foot fields. It was a really cold day outside, hitting hard balls.
Yeah.
It's like I didn't want to ruin anything good I had, so I swung that thing because it's not like it was a bad bat for me. And, man, it felt incredible out there. And it held up through the day. So to hear that yours, you're breaking these bats so fast kind of surprises me. But, again, that's also why it's nice to have more than one person reviewing stuff, because you get more than one perspective. Not just because
Absolutely.
Because we haven't had issues doesn't mean that someone else can't have issues.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, they were hot bats. I like the Sanchez a little better myself, but I did talk to some guys that were like signature players, and I won't name their names because I'm not gonna sell them out. But
sure,
they said they had the same issues.
Really?
One of the guys that they signed on last year, he basically said it was the first thing. He was having huge issues with them, and he said the next round may have been. But now when we got ours, the ones we did were like probably the first batch ones.
Okay.
So I was one of the first ones to buy the Sanchez, and so that might have been the case. I even heard the first Suncoast batch that came out were terrible. A lot, even the Suncoast people told me that. They said that because they were like, look at your serial number or something like that, which I couldn't tell you whether it was right or wrong. But they said they were having some issues with their first round of bats and stuff. But even Mike and Werf had their same had some issues with their first rounds of bats too, and all. And I'll go behind. I try to go behind the scenes and talk to like guys that are like players. I won't, I'm not gonna sell these dudes out, or even the guys that are like what do you call them? I don't know, the big higher rep people and stuff. I try to talk to them, and they'll tell me some stuff. They're pretty honest with me and stuff, but they'll tell you, hey man, don't hit the hard stuff with these, or just kind of start light with them, and then
sure,
go that route and stuff. But the 240, man, I like them. I'm glad. I'm tired of seeing like the old the recent Eastons that were testing 180.
Yeah.
You see a 145-pound guy hitting 330 foot bombs and stuff. That was kind of getting old. But,
and it's the technology. Like by the time the 220 stamp was done, almost every company had just absolute rocket launcher bats. People would ask me, what's the best U-Trip bat this year? And like, man, really, just pick one. Literally close your
I
eyes
know.
and pick one. They were all so good. So I think
You're exactly right.
the standard change is going to be something where, companies will catch up. Cause I remember, when the U-Trip 2012 stamp came out, everybody was like, all these bats are going to be this, or they're going to be that, or they're not as good, or this, that, or the other. And it took a few years, and then everybody had kind of figured out how to engineer these things to break in fast, get super good, and last. And it's going to be the same thing here. The 240s are going to do the same thing. There's going to be one or two good bats, and the next year there's going to be two or three good bats. The next year there's going to be 4 or 5 good bats. It's just going to evolve into they'll catch up with it eventually. But
Oh yeah,
as of now, the change is good. I wish they would implement the 240s like nationwide right now.
yeah, I agree. I don't think they will because the reason I think because money, rules everything. And what they'll do is so let's just say USSSA does switch to 240. This is just my thought process here.
Mm-hmm.
Is you'll have the NSAs, the Freedoms, the what is it, softball nations and stuff. They'll say, hey, look, man, come play with us and you can use your 220 bats.
Yeah.
And I mean, USSSA is not going to lose money and change that. In my opinion, that's just my opinion, but I would think it would be kind of foolish to do that because they don't want to lose money.
Sure. And let's be real here. You stop and think about who sponsors every Facebook Live slow pitch softball stream, and then think about who just dumped a bunch of 220 stamped Eastons. I mean, that right there is you're going to be your biggest reason why that stamp change won't fly for a good long while, because who knows how many more they're sitting on too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't know how you're not. So what I was told I talked to a lot of people, and some people are really butthurt kind of about that stuff, and basically you're not supposed to be selling, or you're not supposed to be producing any more 220 bats. And I mean, some people are doing it. I mean, and there's some people that's kind of come up and said, oh, guess what, man, we just found some old 220 bats.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go. And I was like, yeah, okay.
I say in business savvy wise, it's a good investment, but I'm going to boldly step out and say that they probably ordered God only knows how many last year before they were cut off on making them, threw them in a warehouse in the back corner and said, all right, well, we're going to release these at the beginning of next year, and then we're going to release a few more here. Like it's a great idea business wise, because why go out and spend, $200 and something, almost $300 on a 240 stamp bat when you can buy a 220 for the same price. I mean, if you're looking specifically at nothing but performance, but it's crap because none of the other companies maybe either didn't think of that, didn't get a chance to do that, whatever the situation might be with that. That's what frustrates me about it.
Yeah. And I mean, if you look at China, man, it's the wild, wild west out there.
Oh, dude,
they follow nobody's rules, so they don't care. All they care about is they're trying to get our money. So, and that's kind of what they're doing. So, I mean, that's why, they're selling people's patents, and, even though people have patents over there, they're stealing people's patents and stuff, man. And, there ain't a whole lot we can do about it. But,
no,
I don't know. But I've seen where people, I think I read an article where Chris Osborne from Pure had that situation where he kind of designed something. I don't remember what it was. And this is well before he got into the bat game. And he basically designed something, and he went to like a show or something. The way I read the article, he went to a show, and they had his product there that it got from China, where he had his product made in China, and they stole his, basically his patent or whatever. It wasn't even a patent, I guess. He hadn't had it patented yet, and they stole it, and it was already there at the show. And he ain't even, this is the first time he's ever got to show his product.
Hey, ain't that some shit?
Yeah, that's some sorry stuff, man. I'm not gonna lie to you.
For real though, how many times have you thought about something in the back of your head thinking like, man, that'd be a hell of an idea. I should do that sometime. And then like 2 months later, you see it on TV. How many times does that happen to you?
Oh my God, dude, I've invented stuff. I swear to God, I invented to come out years later. I swear to God. You remember that damn what's the thing that it's a ball that's like on those cords, swing away or something?
Oh, the hit away.
Yeah, the hit away where you just like attach it to your basketball goal.
Uh-huh.
Man, I invented that thing like 15 years ago. Swear to God.
Adam said, get out of here.
I took a ball, dude, no lie. I took a softball. I drilled a hole in it, and I'm in industrial sales. and I took a round urethane belt, and I ran through it, and then I can bond these belts, and I kind of strapped it on, and I just kind of made it like that, man. I said because the urethane would hold up, it was real durable, and I was like, I did, and man, I swear to God, and I had a forklift, believe it or not, and I would strap it to the forklift and hit it off that in a
Ah,
warehouse. But man, I mean, no, I do. 10 years later, I was like, "Are you freaking serious?" And
hey, you duped yourself on that deal. Mine wasn't anything near that cool. I always just thought it would be dope to have a recliner that had like a massage chair built into it.
oh yeah,
Then a
oh
couple
yeah,
years later, what do you know? You walk through the Columbia Mall and they're freaking everywhere. Put a quarter
oh
in and
no,
sit in the chair and let it go all over you.
oh yeah. I've seen those things. Yeah, it was something else too. I can't remember what it was I came up with. And usually mine's always softball related though. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I remember. I was like, man, are you freaking serious? But I wouldn't even know how you go about it. It's kind of like, man, you don't even know who you could trust if you had an idea, man. Because you
Right.
can't send it to China and you can't make anything out here that it won't cost you an arm and a leg. So, and you don't know who would steal your idea. So, and it's their word over yours or your word over them. So you have no clue. I don't know. But
Sorry, I'm sending a text message here. Dealing with kid stuff. So yeah. So it's one of those interesting things where you come up with something and you're like, man, I should patent that before someone else tries to make one. And the next thing you know, like, I really think, have you seen, or possibly do you have any of the BP buddies? Have you ever seen those?
is it a Cole Campbell thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, I've never did it myself. Um, I've been wanting to buy one, and I talked to some guys that had one. He said it was one of the best things he ever bought.
Oh, dude.
Uh,
So when Cole put out the video years ago when he first came out with those, he put those out and I was kind of like the way maybe it was the way he made the video or
uh-huh.
maybe I was just so skeptic of it. I don't know. But I saw the video and I saw the whole idea behind it. I'm like, man, you gotta be freaking serious. It's just softball. Just bend over and pick them up.
Yeah.
And I thought it was just kind of a gimmick thing, laughed the video off and whatever. And then a couple years later, I hit with a friend of mine and he had one. And I was kind of like, man, like, are you serious? You got this thing? He goes, use it one time and it'll change your life. I'm like, dude, whatever. Shut up. Let's hit. So we get done hitting, and sure enough, we pick up 200 softballs in a matter of 15 minutes. And I was like, dude, where do I get one of these?
Oh, I
Yeah.
I saw a dude that's like he's becoming like this famous baseball instructor, like hitting instructor. God, what is his name? Rich something, man. He works with Aaron Judge, and he'll fight and argue with people about his hitting philosophy or whatever. And I was just watching, and I was just trying to see what his whole philosophy. And I saw him pull one of those out to pick up baseballs. I was like, you got to be shitting me. I was like, this dude's using it in baseball, and this dude's like, he's supposed to be pretty famous.
Here, let me look
I
it up.
wanna
You said
say-
it's Aaron Judge's hitting coach?
Yeah, kind of like his personal hitting coach. I cannot remember his name though, man. I'll tell you what his name's Teacher Man something. It's Teacher Man something like that.
Let's see.
And I want to say he's kind of, I don't know if he lives in your area, but he's done stuff in Missouri. I want to say Teacher Man something hitting instructor. He's like on Instagram. He's even on TikTok. He's an older
Brock Hurt?
man.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm sitting here looking. I can't see anything. Maybe chat can help us out here again.
Yeah.
No, nothing here. So I don't know. That's I'll have to look that up to see if I can find that. But it is interesting though. Like I guess it was a big thing in golf before it became a thing in slow pitch. It was a big thing in golf to be able to do that.
Really?
Yeah,
Huh.
I didn't know that either. Richard Schneck.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay,
Yep.
there you go.
Yeah,
I guess that's how you say that. Schneck. SCHNE or SCHENCK. Schneck. Shank.
Yeah, and he's he's funny because he'll go on Instagram Live sometimes, and man, he's in defense mode a lot. I'll put it that way. And I think I'm reading somebody here said he's like from St. Louis.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I was just like, I mean, I know he's big with Aaron Judge, and Aaron Judge is a stud, but I was like, hey man, maybe you could work on those strikeouts. I mean, geez.
Hey, when you're living in like generation launch angle right now, everything's about hitting the ball through the air as far as you can, as high as you can.
Yeah, and the pitchers are just loving it. They're just like, yeah.
Yeah. Let me throw 18 pop outs to you.
You know, it's funny. They used to make fun of guys that had 200 strikeouts 15 years ago, and now it's like overlooked. You know, nobody cares.
Yeah, like that drives me nuts. Like at the All-Star game last year, there was a guy hitting 198. Adam.
Yeah.
He was hitting under 200. The Mendoza line. I'm beating on my desk right now. Hope I'm not making too much noise. He was under the Mendoza line, and he's in the All-Star game. And I'm like, what is this scrub doing in the All-Star game hitting 200? And then he hits a ball 450 feet to, like, almost right field. I'm like, all right, cool, you win. Like, that's why you're here. We got it.
I mean, I get it. But if you go, like, it's like that guy that you take BP with, right? Or the one guy that you play league ball with, and you're like, he'll hit one. This is the worst. You want to sum yourself up a guy. Sometimes you'll play league ball with a guy, and he gets in the first game of the season, and he hits one out. And you're like, oh, shit. Because this dude's going to swing for the fence the rest of the season. And that's what he does. And I'm like, okay, every 35 at bats, you might hit one out. And I'm just like, but the rest of them, dude, you're like, okay, deep fly ball. Fly ball.
Joey Gallo is who the guys say that was. Yeah, I mean,
he's
dude.
Yankees now.
Absolutely unreal. I just could not believe, like, 198. Dude, there would be a time like not even 5 years ago, like 198's not even getting you, like, you're not starting hitting 198, and here this guy is doing it in the All-Star game. But I guess like that one time he makes contact, like, it's cool. So you're like, all right, well, let him play.
Well, here's the thing. So we can argue about a steroid use or not, but Barry Bonds was one of the home run guys, right?
Yeah.
And dude hit for a high average, man. I mean, even before he got big, he was a great ball player. He was a Hall of Fame player before that. But even when he was roided to the gills and his head, grew a whole extra size, the dude still hit for a high average. You could not get him out because he would either walk or get on base or hit a home run. But he still hit for a high average, man. I'm just like, and everybody's like, well, he's pure rotational, and it's like, who are we following, man? Because they always talk this launch angle, but they never do it with Barry. And I'm going,
my big thing when it comes to things like that, especially with Barry Bonds and Mark McGwire, for that matter, and Sammy Sosa and all these guys. Okay, first of all, that era of baseball saved baseball. That era, those home run guys, that saved baseball. But
it did.
Like, it doesn't matter. Like, Bonds, even doing the juice, was a 40-40 guy for a few years.
Yeah,
was a 40-40 guy. 40 home runs, 40 stolen bases. Like, god dang, dude. I didn't like Barry Bonds. I didn't like he had his kid up there in the press conferences begging pitchers to pitch to him, like, please pitch to my dad. Like, man, get out of here. But regardless of the fact, the guy was still like, it's a big thing that I follow a lot of bodybuilding stuff, believe it or not, I do. And one of the things that a few of those guys say, like, it's no secret, like, when you get into a certain level of bodybuilding, that steroids are a thing. And their big thing is steroids don't dictate success. And that's 100% right. Just because I jab a needle in my hip doesn't mean my batting average is going to go up 200 points.
Oh, absolutely. It's just recovery. I mean, look at Rafael Palmeiro. You couldn't even tell that dude was doing steroids, but he was. And he was a tremendous hitter. He hit over 300, got 35 to 40 home runs, if not more. But I mean, he had the needle going in him, and I mean, he wasn't jacked. But I mean, it's like I'll admit. I mean, Mark McGwire used to say it too. He said, "Steroids don't help with hand-eye coordination." And he's so correct. Do not get me wrong though. It might help you a little bit with some bat speed, but these dudes were still tremendous athletes. Doing what they did. But people forget, like, there was still Griffey. And I truly don't believe Griffey did anything. You had your Tony Gwynn's.
Dude. Tony Gwynn was almost a, I got to look that up now. I got Google going now. What was the stat Tony Gwynn off of Tom Glavine?
Oh God, yeah. He hit like 600 or something. I think it was Smoltz. He hit Smoltz so good.
Okay, let me see.
Yeah. Because I remember one time Gwen would go in between innings and go look at a film of himself seeing what the guy pitched on, and he like,
Yeah.
I think he had talked about it one time that Smoltz he never threw a knuckleball in a game, but he threw it at Tony Gwynn because he couldn't get him out.
I believe that. So here's a stat. Tony Gwynn faced Pedro Martinez, John Smoltz, Tom Glavine, and Greg Maddux, a total of 323 times. How many times did he strike out? Just take a guess.
Oh, I remember. Man, it was probably like 19 times.
3.
Oh, my God.
Dude.
Somebody do put the ball in play.
Dude, like, how do you, like, is a slow pitch pitcher pitching to a guy like that? Like, can you imagine? That dude, if he played slow pitch, he'd have batted 1,000. I mean, you just, guys like that, you just get in the box and it's just like, I tell you what, guy, just throw it where you want to hit it and we'll just try and get you out.
Yeah, man. I love, he's probably one of my favorite ball players of all time. I mean, seriously, Tony Gwynn was. I love that guy. I loved hearing him talking. I was not a Padres fan, but I love Tony Gwynn, man. I used to watch everything he ever did. He was believe it or not, I mean, he was kind of a pudgy guy, but he was a hell of an athlete, man. I mean, I don't know, just going the other way with the ball all the time, and I mean, I could so relate with that guy.
You throw it, he can hit it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So here's a quote of Greg Maddux. It says, "You just can't do it. Sometimes hitters can pick up differences in spin. They can identify pitches if there are different release points, or if a curveball starts with an upward hump as it leaves the pitcher's hand. But if a pitcher can change speeds, every hitter is helpless, limited by human vision, except for that freaking Tony Gwynn." But it's guys like that are so much fun to hit, whether it's baseball, whether it's slow pitch, just it's an art. It's an art form.
I know. The whole what do they call it, man? It's the nerd stuff where these dudes, what do you call it? Some kind of metrics crap or something.
Yeah, sabermetrics or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, that crap ruined baseball, man. And you never see a guy put there's no such thing as a bunt anymore. People really don't steal bases like they used to. There's not a hit and run, anymore like it used to be, man. Back when baseball used to be fun, but I don't know, man. It's just not the same.
Yeah, it's crazy how like there's so many different stats. Like I cringe sometimes. Like, and don't get me wrong. Like there's sometimes where I'm like, oh well, that's cool. Like, I didn't know that, but it's like, oh well, Joe Blow hits 248. When the sun is out, but they have the lights on because the sun's getting ready to go down and there's a shadow on the field and the wind's blowing 16 miles an hour with 38% humidity. Like, dude, no. There is no way that every one of those factors he hits better in compared to the other. Like, it's just get out of here with that. But it's... Well,
and the thing that drives me nuts is the people that bitch about the shift. They were saying, the shift should be outlawed. I'm going, no. Learn to go the other way.
Yeah.
Or that drives me crazy, man. So people are so stubborn they won't do anything.
Yeah, and
or whatever.
The shift has created this very interesting thing because now that everybody wants to shift, you've kind of seen your generational launch angle become a thing because you've got everybody shifted. So now you got to hit the ball in the air to get it over someone. So you got to teach people to hit the ball in the air, or you could be like, I'm sure there's people from other teams that have done this a lot as well. But one guy that comes to mind for me, just being a St. Louis guy, is Matt Adams. Matt Adams he was a left-handed guy, and they shifted him for years. And finally, they would still shift him at times, but he finally just started beating the shift. Like, all right, we'll throw it there, and I'm going to hit it here. Like, you can do it. You just got to want to.
Well, that's the thing. I don't remember who I was watching play. They had the shift on him. I mean, there was no third baseman, and dude was a lefty, and they threw him outside. And I was like, dude, are you freaking kidding me? He threw you outside. That's the ball to go the other way with.
Right.
And then there was like it was a fastball. It wasn't even a breaking ball or anything. And it was like, oh my God, dude, just go the other way. It can't be that hard and stuff. And there's some guys that play adult baseball around our way, and I've watched them play. And like you'll see the dudes that know how to play baseball. Like you'll see them. They love the game. They love to play. But honestly, man, they didn't have the body to be a good baseball player.
Sure.
But they're crafty and they're smart. And it's like you'll see them put a shift on the guy, and this guy just he hits against. He'll hit to the other way to the shift. They'll like the second baseman standing on second, so hit that hole. I mean,
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, man, I see guys in softball that won't do it, and then it drives me crazy
Oh
watching them do
yeah.
that.
Yeah. I won't lie. For years, I was that guy too. Like, I just wanted to hit every ball harder than the last one. But it's something that you
Yeah.
learn to appreciate over time, and like you really get into playing some of the older teams. Like we ended up. I know I've told this story a couple times, but it's still one of my favorite stories. So I'm on a team with a bunch of really young guys. It's been a few years ago. I'm on a team with a bunch of young guys, and they're a bunch of decent ball players, and they're all still kind of a little bit wet behind the ears when it comes to playing a lot of tournament ball. And it was supposed to be like regular regular division, silver division. It was NSA, basically regular D. And then they were going to have a senior division too. Well, a bunch of the senior teams ended up dropping out, and there was only one senior team left. And they were like, "Hey, just throw us in something. We just want to play." So the director threw them into silver with us, and we get out there to play them in the not the championship. It was early in the day. I think we had them like our second or third game of the day, and I told them, I was like, "Hey," they're all laughing. "Oh, senior guys, we're gonna run up on them, and this game's gonna be over quick." And I told them, I was like, "Hey, listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, like, do not give them any breaks. Do not give them any extra chances." And they beat us. A bunch of 50-year-old guys beat a bunch of guys. I was the oldest guy. I was 30 or 31. I was the oldest guy on the team. And
Dude,
we got beat. And everybody's like,
guys know how to hit. That's when guys learn how to hit, kind of. Yeah. You get in your 40s, man. That's some of the best hitters you'll ever see.
Oh, dude, it was crazy. It was a lot of fun to play against because it's like you literally don't know where they're going to hit the ball.
Yeah. You're absolutely. I mean, you'll see. There's guys that can't hit it to the co-ed line, and they will wear you out. I mean, because they can put it where they want. Man.
Yeah.
And there was guys I used to see like that played in the league in Roseville, and it was an older man. He played higher level ball. This one guy, I don't remember his name, but he was a little dude. But man, you could not get this rascal out. I mean, and he would just put it wherever he wanted. He never said a word. He didn't talk shit or anything, but you couldn't get that rascal out, man. It was fun. He played outfield, never made a complaint one time at all.
Yeah, and see, that's one of the really cool statistics that I feel like they cover in the conference very well. That they do. Sorry, I didn't say that clear enough. They do a good job of covering this statistic in the conference. Is average or OBP, whatever the one is, without home runs. Like, what can he do with? And dude, Dennis Ruley. One year, Dennis Ruley almost won the batting title, and the amount of home runs he had were like minute.
Yeah,
for the numbers that he put up.
Man.
Oh, dude, just what a rascal, man! Like, I wouldn't be able to stand playing against him just because you just couldn't get the guy out, and he did talk shit.
Oh, he did. I've seen him. He was he kind of like had like short man disease or something. And I remember that shit with him and Travis Clark that time.
Oh yeah.
And Travis Clark said I'd fold him up and put him in my pocket or something like that.
Roll you up and tuck you in my pocket, little man.
Yeah. But I tell you what, Dennis Ruley did not back down, dude.
No, but it's funny. You hear, I love that. That's one of mine and Gabe, my buddy Gabe. It's one of our favorite like slow pitch clips from like the major feeds and stuff like that. Because in the background the whole time, all you hear is Brett Helmer yelling, "Shut your mouth, Dennis! Shut your mouth, Dennis!"
Yeah,
dude, it was just like, man, like that man about died, and I don't think he realized it.
Yeah, I know. But those dudes, man, don't care. I mean, they don't care. I mean,
no.
When I was younger, I was a lot like that. Like, I never backed down from anybody. Stupidest thing you could ever do, man. The two words that got me in more trouble than anything in my whole life was when people would say something to me and I'd say, "Or what?" And I got more shit because I'd always say, "Or what?" And it get my ass in a lot of trouble.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was the same way, especially like, you get a few soda pops in you and you start feeling really tough.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And,
oh, yeah.
So my closing story here for the podcast for tonight, story time with the BP hero. So we talked about the Alabama thing earlier, right?
Uh-huh.
And I'm at a bar in Alabama. I'm down there by myself. I'd had a few drinks, and they just announced that Mizzou was going to the SEC. And I went down to the bar. I didn't have anything going on. I was off work, and I had some of my Mizzou stuff on, and I'm sitting there like I wasn't there with anybody, so I just went and sat at the bar. And again, me, I'll talk to anybody. So just mountain of a human being was sitting a couple chairs down from me. Me ended up bullshitting for a while, and like the drunker he got, the more he started getting really mouthy.
Yeah.
And then he starts in about Mizzou and coming to the SEC, and Alabama had just won their game and blew out whatever team they were playing. And he goes, you ready for some of that? Mizzou boy, you ready for some of that? You're going to get some of that. And finally, I just turned around and I looked at him, and I was like, dude, would you just shut the fuck up?
Yeah.
And he goes, are we going to have a problem? And I was like, man, I said, just let it go. And he's like, well, I don't want to let it go. What, he goes, it seems like you've got a problem with me. And he kind of stands up and he squares up to me. And I could tell like this man was like ready to throw hands. And then I said, look, dude, I said, I'm going to give you one hit. And I swear to God, you better hope you kill me. And like the second it came out of my mouth, I thought, you idiot. Like this guy's probably 6 inches taller than me, probably 100 pounds bigger than I am. And I'm thinking like, what were you thinking when you said that? And I'm sitting here thinking like, man, like how many different places are my jaw going to go? And like he reaches out and he puts his hand on my shoulder and he just goes, like he looks me dead in the eyes. He goes, man, you're crazy. Let's have another drink. And I was like, oh man, I thought I was done.
Yeah.
The BP hero just about got deleted.
Yeah, dude. We're dumb. We'll talk ourselves into some stupid shit sometimes.
It's a guy thing.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't sit there. I'll say stuff not to be a Billy Badass. It's just natural reaction, and I'm going, oh fuck, that's Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah. It's like, now what do I do?
Yeah, and it's like Charles Barkley is behind them, and you're like, they're gonna kill me. Like, they might kill my family.
You're right. In one foul swoop.
Yeah, exactly, man. I could tell you some stories, dude, about stuff like that. And, I played a conference team. It was the end of the year tournament, whatever, and I played not a conference team. They had a conference player pitching for them.
Okay.
And this dude was 6'8", seriously 6'8". And I played against him in church worlds before. Oh my God, what a peckerhead! And we were playing, man, and I can't even remember how it got. And then me and him got into it, and I was like, "Oh my God, what am I doing? This dude will kill me." Dude. And my team, I look back at my team, they're like, "We do not have your back, dude. You're on your own."
Yeah. So I've been in that situation before. We're playing against a team, and they had a conference pitcher out there pitching with them. It was Dan Bean actually for my locals, and so we're playing them in the championship game. We played them earlier in the day, and almost knocked them off. Actually, they had a really good team that day, but we caught them when they were down. It was our first game of the day. We had just had a warm up game, so we're kind of grooving a little bit, and we hung with them for like 6 innings, and then they just blew it wide open. But we see them get in the championship, and they had like Bazat and Dan Bean and a lot of really good players out there that day. And my first at bat, they had came out and put up. We got home team. They came out and put up a huge first inning. I think it was like 11 or 12 to nothing. And my first at bat, I'm going to hit the right center gap, and he throws this disgusting knuckleball, runs in on me. So I try to like inside out it as I'm swinging. And I mishit the ball. Like I got all of the barrel, but I mishit the ball itself, and just hit a laser at his feet. And like, but thank God it's Dan Bean, and my 95 mile an hour ball at his feet probably looked like I rolled it at him, and he just popped it off the ground like he'd done it 100 times. Like it didn't even faze him that I hit it at him. And I'm like, oh man, I'm sorry. He's like, no, it's not a big deal. He's like, I could see you miss it. And all the guys in my dugout were like, look, if you're going to do that, you're going out there to pitch.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's funny. Oh my God, that's funny, dude. I've seen stuff like we played in the beginning of the season. We played in these what they call drop down Final Four tournaments, and they would put everybody in the top of the tournament. And if you lost your first game, then you would drop down into level 3. Ooh. And if you lost, you kept dropping down. Well, like dumbasses, we got locked into one of the top ones, and we made a really good run, and we knocked out we were at E team, and we knocked out one of the C teams, and twice in the game they wanted to fight. Benches cleared and stuff like that. And the team I played on was absolutely insane. And they didn't care. I was like, hey man, you know who those are, right? And they were like, I don't care. There were these guys that didn't know nothing about softball.
Yeah.
But they knew how to play. They just didn't care. And oh man, we get to we had a lot of breaks go our way, so it got really super windy, and people could not hit their home runs like they normally would because it was so windy and it was like swirling winds, and it kept us in, and it was raining and stuff, and we just had a lot of things go our way, and then finally we got into the top 3 or something, and oh man, it was just dudes were like, it's like we didn't get the championship, we got to the semifinals, and they just took it out on us, man. And we were just like, oh my god, and you could tell too they were trying to hit our pitcher, and
they were ready for you.
Yeah, but I don't know, but I mean I screwed up, man, and in one of the first games or something like that, and we played in a Final Four. They have a tournament every year here in North Carolina at Peters Creek, and it's in the middle of nowhere, but it's their Hall of Fame tournament, and they do the drop down 4. In first game, man, I was the number 2 hitter on this team, and I hit one out, and I was like, I know we won't get to hit anymore. This is what I kind of I put it at. Yeah, because these guys are going to murder us. And the catcher was on the other team, and me and him didn't get along too well. He was like running his mouth, and I hit one out, and I did a little oop, and oh my god. Dude.
Oh yeah, end of the world.
Yeah, I fucked up. And my pitcher was like, man, you're going out there. I said, no, I'm not. I'm the catcher that talks shit. That's all I am.
We will quit this game right now. I am not going out there.
And then we had this third baseman that just kept talking shit to him. And I go, dude, what are you doing? And they were just hitting lasers by him, and he would not shut up. And I was like, you haven't seen a ball yet, and you're still he was drunk off his ass. And I was like, they're going to kill you, dude. I was like, they're going to have to. He just kept running his mouth, man. I'm like,
love it.
You're nuts, dude. Yeah. But,
well, listen. Thank you, Adam, for coming and doing the podcast with me, man. Always have a blast podcasting. Like I said, we end up talking about everything. I knew we would. Yeah. Sometimes I just get, like I told you earlier when I asked you if you wanted to do this, it was kind of improv, like last minute. But
yeah,
I just like.
I can do it anytime, man. I love being on here and stuff.
Yeah.
I love listening. Any guys that come on, I love doing that.
And I'm driving home thinking to myself, I just don't feel like talking to myself for an hour tonight. So what's Adam doing?
Yeah.
So listen, thanks for stopping in and doing this. I appreciate it. I know everybody else does as well. We'll do this again soon. We got to do it again soon.
Let me do something. I got to tell some guys hello real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
By the way, do me a favor, everybody. Go watch Big Ben BP. He is a news reviewer, big left-handed guy. He absolutely murders the ball, and his content's really good. So go check him out. But just these are the guys that hit with me: Chad Malott, Josh Maris, Savannah Mayer, that's hubby and wifey, Ben Kazora, Aaron Cook, and G Money, which is Garrett Estes. If you ever want some unicorn sports stuff, hit up Garrett Estes, man. He'll take care of you, get you some apparel. I forgot what his discount code is. I think it's G Money 10% or something like that.
Okay.
But, hit him up. He'll take care of you, and I appreciate it, man. Until next time, keep hitting it, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for stopping in, guys. I appreciate it. Adam, thanks again, man. Sweetheart, in case you hit it, BP Hero, catch you next week.
We'll talk to you later, man.
See you, buddy.
Later, man.